I arrived in Damascus in the fall of 2004. It was a tough time to be an American in Syria. We were deep in the war in neighboring Iraq, and refugees were flooding into the city. I found a room in a house in Bab Tuma, the Christian quarter of the old city, full of tiny alleys and houses collapsing one on top of another. My house came complete with the Baron, my 73-year-old neighbor, who invited me into his room for coffee several times a day and adopted me as his granddaughter. Damascus was breathtaking. I spent my mornings studying Arabic and my afternoons exploring the mosques and markets of the old city. But the political situation was getting worse every day, and, truth be told, I had come to the country to escape a broken heart and my own broken past. At the beginning of November, I fled to a monastery in the middle of the desert to undergo the spiritual exercises, a month of silence and prayer. In the solitude of the desert in winter, I tried to come to terms with the fractured world and with a God who often seemed absent in war. I returned to a Damascus in conflict. Former Prime Minister Rafik Hariri was killed in Lebanon. Syria was blamed, and the country felt on the verge of collapse. Yet it was then that I started to see poetry in the midst of things, in the Arabic language, in my neighbors, and finally, in the beauty of the Quran. In time, I was drawn back to the monastery, where I slowly discovered a family, and where I found love, but in the most complicated way imaginable. I wrote The Bread of Angels because I wanted to tell the story of a year in which, in a country on the edge of war, I found life.